employed through the formal staffing companies would prefer to continue as a flexi worker. There is 19% of the people who are getting absorbed as permanent employment. There is close to about a 5% year-on-year growth that we have seen in the employment format, which is flexi employment, oblique contract employment, if I were to put it that way. Then if we are looking at the kind of employment that is coming, most of the people who are in the age group of 18 years to 30 years are the people who get their first time employment opportunity through a formal staffing company. These are the kind of benefits that the formal staffing company are bringing in as an impact, and that is creating a social leverage for most of the people who do not get the opportunity to get a big brand job as a first layer because of the skill or the employability gap that they have, and that is where the role of formal staffing companies comes into India at this point of time. Looking at just the Tamil Nadu, there is an immense focus that is coming from a skill perspective. Our Honorable CM has announced that there will be close to about 3 lakh students who will be skilled to be deployed across industries, and that's a very welcome message that we feel as an industry that is a very important step that any chief minister can possibly bring in, and we are delighted to be able to support that kind of skilling to employment scenario in case that is the kind of roadmap that can be built into the picture. With that, thank you so much. This has been wonderful talking. Executive Director with Indian Staffing Federation, and I really look forward to having a fruitful discussion with all of you, not only to understand the role the flexi staffing employment creates for the country, but also for the people of Tamil Nadu and for the nearby locations of various opportunities that the formal employment generation can actually help and contribute to the growth of the economy and to the GDP of the country. The formal employment is not only an option, but it's a necessity, and linked to skill is the major necessity that possibly today our country needs to focus on. Specifically speaking about the numbers that are coming from Tamil Nadu is actually exponential from a growth of the industry, from the growth of the people, from the growth perspective of the contribution that each and every individual is making. Today we are presenting our report and launching the social impact report that the flexi staffing industry. Flexi will be equivalent to temp staffing, contract staffing that you would like to understand in the common parlance that we use. So flexi employment, basically what we represent is the tripartite arrangement between an employer, employee and a contract staffing company that carries the people on their payroll, ensures the productivity from a perspective of their skilling, their livelihoods, ensuring social security, transfers of wages to their bank accounts, ensuring the minimum wages are paid on time, ensuring the compliances related to PPF, ESIC, etc. or are done timely. That is the role the formal staffing industry today plays. The formal staffing industry is actually working across industries. The top 65 industries that we have in our country, most of them use fixed term employment or flexi staffing in some form or the other. The penetration that we have as a country is below 1%, but we, even if with a lower number, we are world number 5 right now, and very soon will be world number 3 as far as formal employment is concerned. Obviously, we also are a country which has 85% informal workers, which means that the numbers are substantially high, which is already outside the ambit of having a formal opportunity. Most of the people who are coming out of the tier 2, tier 3 cities, villages, they have aspirations to move from farm to non-farm locations. The arrangements that we have, the opportunities that we have, is usually seen to be the privilege that people get by their birthright or by the lottery of the womb, as some of the people have noticed. If I am born in Delhi, possibly the chances are I will get certain access to education, I'll get certain access to better situations in employment, etc., etc. Similarly, if I am born in a Chennai or a Bangalore or some cities that are having those kind of features, I definitely get an opportunity to do better. But what about the people who are not in these out to study further and complete their education, or they have a lot of burden on their own livelihood so that they are not able to put the children across to finishing their education and then come into employment. These kind of people, youngsters, are getting absorbed into informal employment because immediately they need to provide for their families. And that informal employment, once it starts, there is no way that youngster can go back to completing his skilling or his education and then come back and then possibly provide later for his family. The gap is not possible. And that is where the flexi staffing industry has been playing a very, very large role, specifically the formal staffing players. Today are playing a large role because they are not hiring from the IIMs and the IITs. They are hiring from all the cities which is tier 2, villages, farm to non-farm, who are aspirants to move out. They are providing the opportunities to those people. These people are brought into the skilling ecosystem, they are given some basic training, they are brought into apprenticeship, they are brought into on-the-job training, and then they are given the mileage that they can do and get into better opportunities. And most likely, there is the report that I will be taking you through, there will be a synopsis of there are chances when candidates do well, the job seekers do well, they even get into a permanent job from there. The cycle of the development that happens, a formal staffing company gives the first stepping stone to start, and that is what today we will be showcasing through the report that we have today.